Welcome everyone back to another Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. This may be the final episode. I may decide to continue them afterwards. At this point I would say that I've gone through the campaign as far as I normally would if I was just playing for my own reasons, and I mean, hey, that is why I'm playing. So I kind of like the opening of games, and it's really easy for me to get burned out towards the end. That being said, this one has been pretty compelling. There's been a lot of declaring war on China, for example, really opened up the challenge again. So it's been compelling enough that I've decided to play it a little bit longer than I even expected. However, I definitely can tell at this point that I'm going to win for sure. It wasn't like I expected to lose, but I really see the end in sight at this point. Especially with Germany collapsing on the west. And I was thinking about just trying to achieve the victory point condition, but I did mess up when I talked about that. It's 24 victory points to win, not 20. So once I capture Brandenburg and Hamburg, I'll still be 2 victory points away. Those two could be, for example, Tainan and Drognitz if I didn't make any more advances, but that would take a long time because the Germans are pretty well supplied up in the north, and I'm just doing like defensive holding action. So, alright, so that's the state of affairs right now. Let's just jump right in. Let's see. So in the Far East, there's not a whole lot of combat I need to do because most of it is defensive. I think it'll be a good idea to use one of my artillery. I have 3 to bombard the guys in the marsh, another one to bombard these guys, and the final one to bombard the ones here. I'll then follow up with dive bomb attacks on this one because it has so many infantry guns. I'll ignore this one. I just want to weaken him so he doesn't get any ideas about attacking my very weak infantry unit here. But this one should be resupplied at the end of this turn, so I'm I feel a little bit safer than maybe I should if this unit was not going to be reinforced. Because, I mean, 24 combat value is pretty small, and they're already at 100% readiness, so without being reinforced, they won't grow in combat strength. So let's just go ahead and start off by bombarding these guys. Try to disincentivize them from attacking next turn. Because I already have this unit as a machine gun infantry template, so it should be reinforced with the rifles and machine guns automatically at this point. And I would prefer the automatic reinforcement because for some reason when I do it, it lowers their readiness, but when they do it, it doesn't. I'm not really sure how that works, but knowing that that's how it works, or how it seems to work, I'm just going to play with it like that. So the next thing is, I do have a bunch of these units in the forest that I was constantly bombarding to keep suppressed. But because they're in the forest, it does make my artillery usage slightly less effective. So I'm going to avoid doing that, and we'll go ahead and bombard these guys in the open. And with all these infantry guns, we'll follow up with a dive bomb attack. So let's see, good, and airstrike. Let's use this unit, yeah. Okay, so we killed 8 infantry guns. I mean, I've mentioned this a few times, but to me, the more important casualties are now just infantry and trucks, things that can only be produced from cities because they have so many factories, including aircraft factories, which they just don't seem to use at all, that they can replace any kind of damage I do to their artillery or to their armor. So I'm much more interested at this point in just killing infantry, which is something they can't replace as quickly. There's a hard limit, city limited. Another interesting thing to remark upon is the AI has decided to build a road down here. When I saw this, and I didn't notice it until the beginning of this turn before I began recording, just kind of thinking about what I would do. I was so excited. I was like, wow, you know, the AI kind of does have an idea about what to do with roads. That's pretty cool. Normally it'll do these roads to connect raw materials. So raws, it'll build roads up to like this oil typically, although it hasn't done it here. But for them to actually build a road down here with some knowledge that they're out of supply, I guess, it's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, so I want to move this submachine gun group into this marsh. I'm doing that as a defensive measure because submachine guns defend just as well in the swamps. So it doesn't act as a place where they suffer a penalty. They suffer a penalty in the open areas like plains, and they gain a the same kind of bonus in the forest. But swamp is just considered neutral. They don't fight any differently, which makes me happy because it means that they won't suffer a penalty defending there. So let's go ahead and move them over there. It is kind of an ineffective use of their abilities because you do pay higher production value for them. It's 110 versus 100. So for the 10% increased production, you should probably try to get 10% increased use out of them. Because your riflemen are your everywhere troop, your common troop. And if they aren't better than the riflemen, then it's, well, they're not being as useful. They're not living up to their extra production cost. But from this hex, we can actually attack into the forest where they do have a 25% bonus. So that would be one way to use them effectively. So I'll position them there, but I won't attack the forest quite yet. They can't this turn anyway. And I'm happy just to sit on my laurels a little bit longer. I'm basically playing the waiting game because I will eventually outproduce the Chinese. Okay, so let's do our final artillery attack on this very weak exposed infantry group. And because I want to inflict the most infantry casualties, this is like the perfect target for an attack. So I will end up doing an attack here once again with my 2 armored divisions. And I'm not expecting too many casualties. I didn't have that many. However, they lost another 34 riflemen. That's really good. I'm very happy about that. Again, I don't think there's a need for me to actually move in. I would just expose myself to an attack. I want to just keep pressure on this forest unit, not to attack me and move deeper. I'm okay with them just moving right back in, because if they move in, they won't have been sitting there the whole turn, so they won't have a high entrenchment, and I can just keep going back and forth, battling, attacking, reattacking. Okay. The only thing I have left down here is one more dive bomber. It's tough to say where I should use this. There's not that many armored cars here. There's a few infantry guns. There's more armored cars here and still plenty of infantry guns. I think I have to just use it here. Okay. There's just so many targets. And hopefully because I saved the higher experience, the higher combat value dive bomber, he'll get more kills. Even though he's suffering a 50% penalty to his attack, he's still got really good damage done. 3 trucks, which are in the infantry, like the hard to build category, so I'm very happy about that. The infantry guns and armored cars, I mean, those are still very useful. I need to kill them. The more that I kill those, the weaker they are in their attacks. So that's still good. Alright, now I'm not threatened anywhere else. I'm not worried about the armored cars moving into marsh, swamp, because they can't. Same thing with the infantry guns. They're not allowed to move into the swamp. So for the time being, this guard unit is definitely sufficient. Even though it's sufficient, I'm going to keep this infantry here just because this is impassable territory until they pull down a pure infantry division. Alright. Just for fun, because I have this one unit, which I'm not sure what to do, I'm just going to move this over here. It'll exert a little zone of control, and maybe I'll take this just by nature of zone of control on the next turn. Also, I may need to move him across the river to start pushing back the zone of control creep that they are doing a little bit to my west. Speaking of that, I also have an issue down here. Although I'm not concerned, if I can push in southwest from Qingjian, don't know how to say that, but that's my guess. Then I can also start putting pressure on any units that are cut off in the pocket. Now, in this area, they did pull their troops back. I don't think I attacked. I'm pretty sure that they just pulled back. And it was a wise decision. We have only 2 artillery that are effective in the north, so I kind of want one of my artillery. I think he can get here with 40 left. Oh, 60. Oh. I have to kill this guy first, but that's fine. I can do that. I can attack him just directly. Okay, good. Again, I'm very concerned about getting the kills on their infantry. So then I'll move forward. Okay, so that's that division's turn. I was debating whether or not to move this infantry north or to keep peeling around to the southeast. And I've decided that I want to go down to the southeast. Just need to make sure he's going to be in supply. Yeah, he's very good. So I'm going to push him into these hills then, which is just going to set me up for an attack on the next turn. We have this kind of exposed flank in the middle here, but I'm just expecting that they don't have the supply or the units to move in. And even if they do, it's such harsh terrain, I'll have time to react. Okay, now this is a low mountains area, so I have to be very careful about using my tank over here. In fact, I really want to switch the infantry and the tank, but that's fine. I also can't attack over streams because they suffer penalties there, so there's no good situation for this armor. He's kind of gotten himself, he's played himself into an area which is against all his advantages, which is really to his disadvantage. So what I'm going to do is switch these 2 units. I'm going to move that infantry up. And actually now we see that the units that are in here are really, really weak. And this is what I expected. So let me see if I can now move this one. It'll cost 60. And I can actually do bombardment of this. Okay, let's do it. So we didn't do too much damage, but the readiness is low enough. The question is, do I take a chance and actually try to attack into a really low readiness group? Noting that my combat strength will be reduced severely because I have the majority of my combat 149 power here is definitely because of this tank. I say we just do it. It's kind of crazy, but why not? It was a really even battle, actually. We lost a lot of troops. In fact, the only people who survived to finish the attack off were my 4 tanks, which I'm a little surprised by considering. But I guess they didn't have enough anti-tank to deal with the armored threat. And in the end, we killed almost 50 riflemen and a whole bunch of militia as well. So was it worth it? Most definitely. We'll move the armor in just to secure, but he's not going anywhere. Yeah. And he'll have to be reinforced next turn too. Okay, so we'll move this headquarters north 1. That won't put him out of the 3 movement range of this guy. And this guy was already 4 away, and he's still 4 away, so we haven't done anything to hurt ourselves. But we are still... Oh, let's switch this guy to a machine gun infantry as well, so that he knows to get reinforcements from the headquarters. Okay. I did a little bit of moving off camera. I moved this unit, which was here or here or something. I moved him up, which were 2 zones that the enemy had conquered. I reconquered them and I moved him back away, just to force this guy to do a little more work if he wants to advance into my territory. The next thing I think I'll do is I think I'll move here. I want to move here in the end of this turn, but I move north first just so I could scout this unit. Since we're scouting it and we're seeing that it's pretty weak, what I'm going to do is dive bomb it and then follow up with an attack. I do have to watch my fuel, but I think this is a good use of my dive bombers. Yeah, they absolutely crushed them. In fact, they did 5 rounds of damage, but they're actually still... They still have 5 rounds of more damage they can do. So we'll use the same unit, excuse me, to dive bomb this guy just to get reconnaissance. So we'll use the same unit, and what do we have here? So even 5 rounds was enough to like decimate this force. They have 70 riflemen there, but they're just so... I'm guessing they're really out of supply, so their readiness is extremely low. Excuse me, my goodness. Because I'm seeing that their unit is so low on supply, they're such low readiness, I want to dive bomb that one again, I think. Because I have choices here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't get to this guy anyway, which is the only other option. This one will easily be destroyed by my attack here, as we'll see. Yeah, just instantly they died. We will go ahead and push forward too, to just keep putting pressure. And now we'll continue another dive bomb, just to eliminate as many of these troops as possible. You can see that with such low readiness, they're going to die very easily. So wow, we killed 20 of them. That's excellent. But it's still a possible threat, so we'll move our engineers over. Actually, I need to be careful. My engineers need to be used for resupplying people, but I don't see any area where we would need roads quite yet. And it's only 10 engineers. They're not going to be a combat unit, so... Yeah, what I think I'll do instead then is move this unit over here. Doesn't quite have the movement capacity to move in there or there because of the zone of control. But I think I want him here to react to any further southern movement from this unit. Okay, well, it's almost been 20 minutes already. We have 2 more dive bomb attempts in Queen John, and we're going to lead off with this artillery first. So what I think we'll do is dive bomb around, use artillery here. It's such a strong hex, it could really use some weakening. And we'll follow that up with a dive bomb. The idea of it here is every unit I kill, I don't think they'll replace. It's the same thing that as with this unit. It started really strong, it moved all the way in, but after we just kept dive bombing it, it got weaker and weaker. And we ended up even forcing it back on its own without actually engaging in combat. I mean on ground combat. We just did support attack. This armored unit can actually move in and attack, and I was considering this as well. In fact, what I could do is dive bomb the remaining one here. I don't think either of these are a good option for dive bombing, so we'll do our dive bomb here. And I suppose we'll do an attack then. We killed their infantry guns, which are going to be their main anti-tank. We even lowered their readiness quite a bit. That's going to make this attack, yeah, a very viable decision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the armor here and attack down so that it can attack with the infantry over here. I'm going to do that so that this unit can retain its entrenchment bonus. If the attack is successful, which it almost surely will be, this unit won't need its entrenchment bonus anymore because there'll be nothing threatening it. So let's do it. And clear victory. I think we'll move the armor in. I'd invite an attack against my armor. I'd be okay with that. I think it would be a wasted attack, and I think we'd replenish a lot of the forces before they were able to, before our next turn, and we'd be able to counterattack. Hopefully this pressure just forces them to vacate this little pocket that they've formed. For the time being, I'm going to leave this troop here. I think I can reinforce it from the main headquarters, but I gotta say, honestly, I forgot to do that off camera. That's my mistake. I forgot to do the reinforcement from my main headquarters. So typically I look at this guy and say, okay, where do I want my artillery to go? Where do I want my submachine guns? Part of them are just going to be pulled. Whoops. Part of them are going to be pulled to the headquarters, are going to be demanded by the headquarters just to begin with. It does also look like we're going to have to increase our supplies because I see that the required out is about 10,000 now. And we're only making 10,000 supplies, so that's not good. Okay, so after this next turn, I think we'll just drop our submachine gun production down to nothing. And then we can increase the Fuji's supply production by a little bit more. For the time being, I guess I can drop the staff down, and oh, I see why I'm not doing that, because I hate dealing with weird amounts. So we'll keep doing that. Okay, well, who's not producing supply who could produce more? Okay, I can drop... Whoa, you're at 70? That's a weird number. Let's drop you down to 40 and raise this to 1600. So Misato is going to stop producing political points. It's going to produce 800 supply and more riflemen. Here's another one. They're currently doing machine guns. I think I'm going to leave that one though. Aha. So let's go ahead and reduce the riflemen and increase supply of that as well. So we're up to 12,000, which is probably sufficient. Nagano, the recent capture, I don't think we need political points from this guy either. So we'll go ahead and increase this and increase our machine gun production there. Okay, fair enough. So I've done the production that I'm going to do, the production changes. I usually dwell on that a lot longer, so it's been helpful to actually save me time doing it while on camera. Otherwise, I sit there and I min-max. It can get a little absurd. Alright, now I was looking at this for a while before I started, so I have an idea of what I want to do here. A lot of these units can attack. I was even thinking of attacking this unit with my engineers, and in fact, I think I'm still going to do that. I've already moved one of these... Wait. Oh no, I'm going to. I have not yet moved anybody anywhere yet. So I was trying to figure out where I can move a unit and still get in some bombardment. Was it this guy who could do it? Yeah, if he moves here, can he get 3 rounds of bombardment in? He can. That may seem really silly, but since I'm going to be attacking with engineers, I actually want to do that because I don't want my engineers to take any casualties at all. They probably still will. Hopefully not. Okay, good, they didn't. The real question is, does this unit still have... Okay, it has enough. I wanted it still to connect this road. That was very important to me. Although this unit can attack here and actually connect the road directly. Yeah, in which case I don't really need the road to be connected after all. Okay, well, fair enough. They've deployed another card. Oh, that was one interesting thing. Just to read off the card skills. This one was interesting to me. Inundate. Lead your soldiers in demolishing river dikes to flood the countryside. Can be played on plain or field hacks with river. And there's again a small chance it'll kill or wound my officer. That's kind of interesting. It doesn't say it exactly, which is a little unfortunate. It would be kind of nice. If you do have these cards, obviously the computer knows when it's playing a card what the effect will be. It'd be nice if it just said, click on a riverside, a plains or field with a hex bordering it. I mean a river hex. And that will become a marsh. I think it becomes a swamp. I'm sorry, I always say swamp, marsh, whatever. Okay. I had to take a drink there. There's no way this artillery is going to get to the front and be able to do anything, so we'll just push them as far forward as possible. Same thing with these guys. They're not going to be effective this turn, so plains and fields. I think I'm going to want to do bombardment. I swear I moved one of these guys, though. It's so weird. They're both action points 100, so we'll bombard one of these guys, and I think we'll follow up with an attack on that. So let's move him forward. Bombard with our weaker artillery, because this is mainly armor. But we'll just try to eliminate everything but the armor. And we have done that. In fact, wow, they actually completely fled. I wonder what happens if I do artillery on it again. I won't do that. That doesn't seem necessary. I might as well bombard this one with the remaining 40. 3, 4. Good. And that probably still... Wow, that devastated them. So it's better to spread the love, as we see. Okay, let's attack in there. And we won. Fantastic. That's even more important than it seems, because now if I attack this guy, which will be a little difficult, I think this guy can... Oh, he's only at 81 action points, so he was reinforced, which brought his action points down. This is interesting. If I attack here with the engineers, we definitely cannot build a road, but we don't really need a road if we conquer it. It's interesting. Well, I know I want to attack here with this infantry, just to move him further forward. Wow, we took a really good, sizable... What was it? We didn't win. Wow. We did win. Kind of. We took huge casualties, that's for sure. Well, I guess I'm going to still follow up an attack because they are weaker. Whatever units were just involved have taken more damage. So this was a good decision. We killed 15 more rifles. And again, part of the reason it's good to do this is that we're cutting off the road to the north. I guess at this point it's completely cut off. We'll go ahead and move the armor there and just leave him. He'll be pinned there. Alright. Now... I'm going to keep moving my submachine guns forward. They are the ones who I want to actually engage. They probably should have been moved here. I want to actually engage the suburban with my submachine guns. It would cost 80 to move there only because it's got a zone of control on it. It would cost... It should cost only 30 for them to move along the road, if I'm not mistaken. What I'm hoping will happen is this. This unit has 100 action points. It should cost 30 to move here. It does. For some reason it's costing 50. I don't know why, because this is not originally. I'm guessing that's something to do with the action points from this one, because it's moving along a road too, so it shouldn't cost anything. What we'll do to see what's going on is I'm just going to attack in with this armor. Okay, now does it still cost? Good, now it's costing 60, which is better. So this unit can move all the way here, which is really important. I wanted to get a unit there to prevent if this armor moved forward like he's going to do, because he just attacked there. I wanted to prevent these guys attacking and taking over the road behind me. Now these engineers can connect this road, no problem. I guess we'll do it. Which one do we want to... We can only do it this way, so let's do it that way, because we didn't have enough action points to move into the hex we just conquered. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And now we just want to move these infantry up. Yes, move up. Move everyone up. Okay, 30 minutes. We're already 30 minutes in. What makes it clear then this unit can only do... Well, that's not true. We really, really, really want to break through and do an attack here. Oh my gosh. Because their heavy artillery is going to decimate my forces unless I can get in there quick. But this wouldn't be an attack across a river, which is insane. So let's just attack here. And I won't move in if we are successful, which we are. We did kill a lot of units in that one. I'm not going to move in. I don't care about the raw. I don't care if they reconquer it. I have extremely low readiness on these units, 55 and 40. So it doesn't seem extremely well advised to attack, but these guys are mostly armor. Yeah, I think the only reasonable thing to do here is going to be to attack this unit, bombard it with artillery, do a follow-up attack with the armor. Our infantry is arriving, so we just need to push as hard as we can to Brandenburg and let the armor won't be useful as soon as we get there, so let's make the armor do as much work as possible here. I was really debating for a long time whether it would be better to actually bring the artillery up and start bombarding Brandenburg. I could have moved this artillery here and started bombarding here in order to possibly take Brandenburg on this turn. I guess the likelihood of that happening is so small though that it's better just to take what I can get this turn, which probably is this. We are going to take some casualties, but that was brutal. Wow, they took 50 infantry, trucks, lots of things. And we will definitely take this unit. In fact, we can even attack in. Okay, the main combat strength of this hex comes from artillery, which does not actually defend well. It's a little suicidal, but I'm going to attack. I have armor. I'm just going to try to wipe out as much artillery as possible. Okay, we didn't have enough action points to continue going. We were able to kill a heavy artillery. Hopefully we lowered the... we got some action going on outside my place right here. Okay, so we weren't able to conquer this suburban hex, but we were able to kill one heavy artillery and hopefully reduce the action points of the other artillery low enough that they won't blow me into smithereens. Since I did take that hex, I did attack this hex with this armored unit. I'm going to go ahead and decide to move in there after all. One thing is, armor still defends better in the mountains. Not that it does anything to its combat skill, but attacking on armor will lower your combat value. For example, armor attacking into a low mountain will lose 50%. So that's still good. Artillery bombing into the low mountain will lose 50%, so I can use the low mountains as cover for my armor. That's everything we want the blue headquarters to do. So let's see. I moved these two artillery up already from here and here respectively, so 40 and 60 are the action points, 40 here and 60 here. I want to bombard this unit and I want to try to take it this turn. I have two units which can attack it, and this is oil. Unfortunately, my bombardment is going to greatly lower the amount of oil I get. So what I'll do is actually I'll bombard it first with just this unit. Actually, I'll just use the 40 to begin. If I feel like this hit bombardment, I don't feel. Wow, I definitely do not feel it has lowered it enough. And the location hit points is actually 4,000, which is good. So my artillery won't do too much to it. That's really good to know. So let's go ahead and use the other artillery. We again did not do that much. Wow. I guess we're lowering the readiness, but it's much less effective than I was hoping. Okay. We do want to use this artillery. I think we can't move forward. Oh, we can, and it'll cost 50. I want to keep moving these guys along. So I even want to move this. I should have done this before. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it was fine. These guys were in range. So let's move him forward here. That has not affected any of the... That has not poorly, negatively affected any units. They're all still at the same range. So this one's still at 100%, we see, even though I moved up. Alright. I think I am going to move this artillery up. He's still in supply here, but the sooner we move him up, the sooner he can be effective. Actually, I think I'm just going to use him from the back. I've changed my mind. And then next turn, I won't use him at all from bombardment. I'll just use him to move, to reposition. Because the more damage we can do to this otherwise pretty significant unit, the better. I'm only attacking it with 2 infantry, and it's mostly armor, so... Okay, we're taking a lot of casualties, but in the end we're victorious. That was a lot of casualties. Wow, 20. So we want to move in here, but there's... Oh, we can do a follow-up attack. Yeah, let's do a follow-up attack with just this guy. Good. That was much better. And yes, go ahead and move in. You'll just move here, I guess. There's still, I think, more than... Is there more than one unit that can attack this 68? I guess not. Yeah, no. Okay, well, I'm going to do the attack with the one unit that can. In fact, this unit can actually support the attack if I do this correctly. Moving here would cost 670, but it will only cost 60 if I kill these guys. So, since nobody can support that, these guys just have to go this alone. Unless I pull this unit down. Gosh, there's so many decisions. I know I want to attack these units, but my idea originally was to bombard Brandenburg. Let's just check out Brandenburg. How defended is it? 7 armored cars, 4 rifle, 11 rifle, 8 armored cars. Jeez, man. A lot of engineers. Originally my idea was to move this armor in to attack here, to bombard Brandenburg, and then to attack Brandenburg from 2 sides, seeing if I could take it. If I was able to do that, that would be just a masterful blow. The infantry can contribute instead. Okay, so I can still attack these units. The infantry that are on this rock can support the attack down here. I like that. So I'll move here. This guy, all 3 will attack. This guy will move in, and then after that attack, this unit will help attack this unit. That sounds really good to me. Let's do it. Okay, I lost 5, but they lost just so many, so many. Engineers, again, are another thing that they can't replace very easily. So I took the oil. That's extremely important. Next turn I'll be getting a lot more oil. So that's definitely important for me to keep. This guy can follow up, I think, right? No, he cannot. That is interesting why he can't follow up. I guess 65 isn't enough to break into fields? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, he can't for some reason. Huh, it just says not enough action points. I don't think it takes more than 60 action points. Well, this video is really starting to run long though, so let's see if I can speed it up a little. Oh, see, this guy doesn't have enough action points either. That's a little strange to me. Wow, we took a few more casualties there. That was a pretty well contested defense on their part. Alright, and now let the reinforcements stream in to fill the rest of the gaps. Ah, yeah, this is interesting. So, what to do? First of all, I want to connect this area down here. So I'll do that next turn. I mean, we can still go for broke. Let's see how this attack goes. Like, basically, this is the tough decision I have to make. The last decision I have to make in this episode, which is really running long, is whether to attack this unit and then use artillery and attack this one, or just to use artillery and attack this one, and then prepare my attack on Brandenburg for next turn. Let's just go a little crazy and attempt to take Brandenburg on this turn. Oh, I didn't select both of them. That's weird. Okay, so can this guy attack? He can't. This is so strange to me. These tanks are supposed to have this supply or movement reduction. I can show that better, sorry, over here in the middle. So if we just zoom over to the northeast, these tanks can normally move 10 because moving along the road would cost 10. So they can, with 100, they can go 10. Now, oh, we're out of fuel. That explains everything. Well, even while we're out of fuel, these things are, I mean, when they weren't out of fuel, they cost 8. So it's, you can see the movement now is 24 because it's 3 times more expensive when you're out of fuel. So that's fine. These guys will move forward as fast as they can, being out of fuel. And that explains why I can't do the attacks. Aha, okay. Fantastic. Well, we kind of blew it then. We should have used this artillery to bombard here. But let's go ahead and just use it to attack Brandenburg for the first time. We'll just start weakening their forces in there. And we'll just attack them next time. Okay, then like I said, we have all the infantry follow up. Spreading all over. Move this one here, I guess. Good. Plenty of infantry moving forward all over. Success is really guaranteed on the west. They have a lot of artillery, but I'm just not concerned. Okay, well, that's going to conclude this episode. I won't even end the turn. Oh, no, I always end the turn, don't I? Okay, I'll end the turn real quick. Let's do it. Let's see what the repercussions of our actions were. What is the response? Okay, they're attacking somewhere. I missed it. Okay, where are you attacking? Attacked here. We stood firm. And the Germans... Surely they'll do bombardment. They do. Here. Land artillery here. They did attack and we stood firm. Wow. We didn't lose a unit there, actually. That's incredible. An immensely successful turn. So we have 17 of the 24 victory points we need. Some more generals are being upgraded. Okay. That's cool. I'm glad he did that. He increased the experience of the units under his command by 3%. So I'm going to save it here, and we'll have to take a look at what's actually going on. I'm pretty sure at this point that Brandenburg is ours on the next turn, and if we just keep pushing, I assume Hamburg will be ours in another 2 turns. Again, this is when the combat is starting to slow down. Well, I mean, not that the combat's slowing down, but there's no mystery left in it. We're getting more oil, too, because I just captured the level 3 oil hex here. So although it's not completely repaired, it's still giving me an additional 1800. That'll be very useful. Also, this unit now has enough action points engineering points to upgrade this to a level 3, which means I'm going to get 11,000 next turn, which is great. That's very helpful. And if we lose this one, it's only 250 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 250 is relatively minor. Okay, so that'll conclude this episode. I think I'm still going to do one more before I call this series to a close. But at this point, it might be more interesting for me to start a new one. I don't think I'll do a one city start because that did take like 5 turns or so to get going. Or if I do, I'll probably just time lapse the beginning part until we go into war. Because I think it's a little... I don't want this game to be perceived as like a stupid or boring game at all. And I feel like the people who watch the first episode are probably like, what? This game is so slow. You know, the combat is extremely interesting. The expansion is interesting only when you know what you're going to be going towards, which is the combat. But probably it's not interesting to watch. Well, that being said, I'll call this one to a close here. We'll pick up in the next episode, and thanks for watching.